What's up, guys? Hail to the Hogs here, back again. And today, it is Tuesday, April 24th. This video will be going up Wednesday morning, which is tomorrow morning. So when you're watching this, we have less than 24 hours, but nearly 24 hours away from the NFL draft. One of the most exciting times of the year for us fans. And I can't wait. I'm sure you guys can't wait. It's so close, you could just reach out and grab it, but we got a couple days. So this video obviously is going to be my final 2018 first round mock. I've been teasing it for a while, saying it was coming, but I figured it would be fun to just put it out the day before and get you guys excited for the actual draft. So without further ado, let's get into it. Obviously this one's going to be a little bit longer. So get comfy like I am in my nice chair, grab a snack, grab a drink, and let's get started. So, with the first pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns... Are you serious? For the third time, with the first pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns will select Sam Darnold, quarterback out of USC. There's been some speculation that it's between Allen and Darnold. I think Allen is not nearly on the same level as Sam Darnold. I think he has a way less chance to bust, and I think it's a safe pick. And if I had to guess, I would assume that most teams in the NFL have Darnold as their number one quarterback in this draft. So Cleveland goes ahead and takes their quarterback of the future in Sam Darnold. At number 2, the New York Giants select Saquon Barkley, running back out of Penn State. I think that if Darnold is there, they would take Darnold, but they do go best player available and take arguably the best player in the draft in Saquon Barkley. Their new GM, Dave Gettleman, it's no secret that he's not afraid to take a running back early in the draft, as we saw him in Carolina select Christian McCaffrey at number 8. So I think it makes sense here to bring in Saquon Barkley. At number 3, I think the New York Jets will take Baker Mayfield out of Oklahoma. I think arguably it's between Mayfield and Darnold if Darnold is there. And in this scenario, obviously he is not, so I have them taking Baker Mayfield out of Oklahoma. Personally, I think that the two best quarterbacks in the draft are Mayfield and Darnold, so this is a great pick for the Jets in my eyes, and I think they do go ahead and take their quarterback of the future with Baker Mayfield. At number 4, we have our first trade. I think that the Buffalo Bills know that there will not be that many quarterbacks on the board to their liking at 12. They need to trade up ahead of Denver because there is some speculation that Denver will take a quarterback. And I think they trade up to take Josh Allen out of Wyoming. I think he's a better quarterback than Rosen. I think if any of them are going to slip, I think it would be Rosen. I think he is the most questionable quarterback of the group. So, also, the Browns could take Bradley Chubb here, but that would mean that in the next coming years, they're going to be giving out $100 million contracts to Myles Garrett, whichever quarterback they take at 1, most likely, and they're going to have to give one to Bradley Chubb. So I think financially it makes sense to trade down here. The Bills get their quarterback of the future. At 5, I have the Broncos taking Bradley Chubb. I think if Bradley Chubb is off the board before this pick, they probably would go Quentin Nelson to beef up that offensive line. But the high praise from Von Miller probably echoed throughout the organization, I'm sure. It's a good fit. I think it's the best player available at this position. And the Broncos go ahead and grab an edge rusher to pair with Von Miller for years to come. At number 6, we have our second trade. The Colts have said that they are open to trading down again, at least the possibility of it. I think the only way the Cardinals can trade up is if Rosen or Allen falls from 6 to 10. I think that's when it makes it likely that they would trade up. So Rosen is on the board here, and the Cardinals grab him. So the Cardinals trade up with the Colts and take Josh Rosen out of UCLA, the clear Carson Palmer replacement. At number 7, the Buccaneers take the best player available who has slipped to them, and they beef up that offensive line with Quentin Nelson out of Notre Dame. I think they could go Derwin James here or even possibly Minkah Fitzpatrick. but they would love to see Nelson slip to 7. And in this scenario, I think that they would definitely rush to the podium with the pick in hand for Quentin Nelson. At number 8, I have the Bears taking Denzel Ward out of Ohio State. I think that the Bears love Ward. From what I've heard, there's a great link there, and I think if he's there, they go ahead and grab him. At number 9, we have the 49ers taking Tremaine Edmunds out of Virginia Tech. He will be a teen in this draft. He is very young, going to be the youngest player in the NFL coming out of the draft. And clearly there's some issues surrounding Reuben Foster, and they're probably looking to replace him. And I think they would favor Edmunds over Roquan Smith here. At 10, we have our first reach in my eyes. We have the Oakland Raiders taking Mike McGlinchey, the offensive tackle from Notre Dame. Donald Penn is 35. He's coming off of injuries. Obviously doesn't have much left in the tank, and it's a huge hole for them, so they go ahead and grab their guy. They could go Roquan Smith, but I think that this need is huge, and I can see Gruden taking an offensive lineman early. At 11, the Dolphins need a linebacker. Roquan Smith is still available. I think they would prefer Edmunds on their draft board between the two. Obviously, he's not here in this scenario, so they go ahead and grab the second best option, which is Roquan Smith, and it's a hell of a good second best option, I must say. At number 12, I have the Cleveland Browns taking Derwin James out of Florida State. I think they would like either McGlinchey or Denzel Ward if they were to slip to 12, but I think they take the best player available in this scenario. It's great trade down value, and Jabril Peppers hasn't been what they wanted him to be. So I think it's a good pick to, give some depth to that safety position. At number 13, I tried to find a scenario where I could get us to trade down, but it just wasn't really working out when I tried to do it. So I have the Washington Redskins taking Minkah Fitzpatrick, safety out of Alabama. I think he's the best player available at this position. It's 2 years in a row where we have a guy who's a top 10 talent slip to us due to circumstances. So I think it makes a lot of sense to bring in Minkah Fitzpatrick. Doug Williams has gone on record as to saying they will be taking the best player available, and I think the best one here is Minkah Fitzpatrick. At number 14, I have the Green Bay Packers taking Josh Jackson out of Iowa. I think here they're looking to beef up that secondary, and it's going to come down to Minkah Fitzpatrick if he's there, or Josh Jackson. And they go ahead and take Josh Jackson, who some value as the best cornerback in the draft. And I think it's a great pick. The Indianapolis Colts are sitting at 15 due to the previous trade. I think throughout this whole draft process, even before the combine, they've had their eyes set on Bradley Chubb. Obviously, he's not here at 15. He's been off the board. So they take their second best option at edge rusher and go Marcus Davenport out of Texas San Antonio. Very talented player. A lot of speculation that he could end up going top 15 for sure, and he clearly does in this scenario, headed to Indianapolis. With the number 16 pick, the Baltimore Ravens take DJ Moore out of Maryland. I think it would come down between him and Calvin Ridley. Obviously, Ozzie Newsome likes his Alabama guys, but I think DJ Moore is a better fit. He came from Maryland, headed to the Ravens. It's a cool story, and I think it would work out well. At the 17th pick, I have the Los Angeles Chargers taking a very solid value pick, picking up a guy that slipped a little bit, and beefing up that defensive line with the best defensive lineman available, which is Daron Payne out of Alabama. This is a guy who I could see going a lot earlier, but in this scenario, he slipped a little bit, and the Chargers will be very non-hesitant to scoop him up as quick as they can. At number 18, I have our third trade. I think that the Patriots just go ahead and bite the bullet, and they make that big move that's going to be on ESPN forever, talking about him and Brady, and they get Lamar Jackson out of Louisville. In this scenario, I still have them keeping pick 31. Seattle, after 18, they don't pick again until 120. So I think that the Patriots could give them that first and then just a ton of maybe second and third draft capital. So I could see them still having 2 first-round picks and being able to trade up to get a quarterback, and that's what I have happening here. At number 19, I have the Dallas Cowboys taking Vita Vea out of Washington. It's a slip. I think they go ahead and grab him, best player available. and it's a huge improvement for the interior pressure of that defensive line. At number 20, the Detroit Lions go ahead and take the second best running back behind Saquon Barkley, in my opinion. Some might call it a reach, but I think it's a great pick. And they go ahead and take Darius Geis out of LSU. I don't see him really going any lower than 20, so I have him at 20 to the Lions. All right, at pick 21, I have the Bengals going ahead and taking who they think is the best offensive lineman on the board at this position, and they go Billy Price, who is a center out of Ohio State. But here at 21, I think it's not too early to take a great center in Billy Price and help out that offensive line that desperately needs help. At pick 22, I have the Cleveland Browns taking Colton Miller out of UCLA. It's a great value pick for the trade down that they previously made in this scenario. And obviously they need to replace Joe Thomas, who retired after a tremendous career. And I think this is a good one to go ahead and grab at 22 for sure. At pick 23, I wanted to give the Seahawks a corner, maybe Jari Alexander or Isaiah Oliver, but I think they like the idea that Calvin Ridley's available. It's a great Paul Richardson replacement to beef up that wide receiver core. They clearly need it. All right, at number 24, the Carolina Panthers are on the board. They have a huge need at cornerback, and I think they go ahead and take Jari Alexander out of Louisville, one of the best corners in the draft, and I think he beefs up that Carolina secondary tremendously. At pick 25, I have the Tennessee Titans taking Leighton Vander Esch out of Boise State, a first-round talent on most draft boards in the NFL. There has been some injury concern, but I think the Titans would nab him if he's here, and he'd be a great replacement for Avery Williamson, who they've lost. At 26, I have the Atlanta Falcons taking Taven Bryant, a defensive tackle out of Florida. There's been some link there through chatter, through some analysts, saying that they do like a lot of these defensive tackles, such as Taven Bryan. And they do have a weak interior defensive line that could use some help, so I think Taven Bryan would be a great pick here for the Atlanta Falcons. At 27, I wanted to give the Saints their quarterback of the future once Breeze leaves. I think Breeze is one of those guys who, kind of is defying aging in itself. I think he's got at least two more years left in the tank. So I think they go ahead and grab Hayden Hurst out of South Carolina, a tight end. He's their tight end of the future. They tried to sign Jimmy Graham back in free agency, and it didn't work out for them. So I think them taking a tight end in the first round makes a lot of sense, and Hayden Hurst is the best one available. At number 28, the Pittsburgh Steelers are on the board. They would like Leighton Vander Esch if he's here, but they go ahead and take the best interior linebacker available at this spot, which is Rashaan Evans out of Alabama. The Jacksonville Jaguars at pick 29, they lost a lot of good receivers in free agency, Allen Hurns and Allen Robinson. So I think it makes sense to take a wide receiver here, especially with the wide receiver market beefing up and getting bigger and bigger as the past couple free agency periods have gone on. So I think they take Cortland Sutton, a receiver out of SMU. I think it's a good fit. It could be between him and Christian Kirk, but I give Cortland Sutton a little bit more upside compared to Christian Kirk. At number 30, the Vikings are on the board. They need some O-line to protect Kirk Cousins, but I think they can grab those in some middle rounds. So I think they go best corner available here. I think they take Mike Hughes out of Central Florida, a nice corner to add to the team, and they clearly need it. So I don't think they would be afraid to not take an offensive lineman here and go with Mike Hughes out of Central Florida. As I said before, the Patriots are still on the board at 31. I think this could be a total fleece. I think they could be like the Saints last year. That being said, I obviously don't think Lamar Jackson will start this year, but I think they can go ahead and have the best draft out of any teams in the NFL this year if they stay here at 31. And I have them taking Isaiah Oliver out of Colorado. Many have him as the best corner in the draft, or at least one of the best. I have him as one of the best for sure. Clearly they need the Malcolm Butler replacement. It's the best corner available at this position at pick 31. And I put in my notes here, I think if Isaiah Oliver lands with the Patriots, bottom end of the first, I think it could be a Defensive Rookie of the Year candidate. I think he's extremely talented, and being there with Belichick would just be great for him, I think. And to finish off the first round, the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champions, are on the board to close out this round. They could trade down. I just couldn't think of any ways where it would really make sense. Maybe if someone trades up to take one of the receivers that's left, that could go early second round. But I think Philly sits at 32. I think they get their third down back of the future, and they take Sony Michel out of Georgia. Lately, there's been some talk that he could end up in the first round with Geis and Barkley. So obviously, at the end of the first round here, I don't think it's too early to take him. And Philly gets their third round back of the future with Jay Ajayi being an impending free agent in 2019. So that's it, folks. That is the last mock draft. It's kind of depressing. This has been so fun to do and scout these guys. But this is my official final mock draft. This is what I've come up with. Obviously, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I wanted to also ask you all if there would be any interest in me live streaming the night of the draft. I don't know if I would stream the entire first round, but I would like to stream at least the Redskins pick. So if there's any interest there, so let me know if you guys would be interested in that, and I'll be sure to go ahead and do it. But I think that's pretty much it for this one, guys. It's been a long one, a lot of talking, a lot of drafting. Yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think. I'm sure you're excited for the draft. I'll see you guys after the draft or the night of the draft. So yeah, let's get buckled in and see what happens. It's very exciting. So as always, guys, hail to the Redskins. I hope you guys enjoyed, and happy NFL draft.